course on that. Okay.
Thank
Let's take
you so
our
much.
opening. Please drop where you're joining us from in the chat box. You know, somebody can connect with you there. Your name, your location, and let's start. So we'll have Corina, Executive Director, to take us on the opening.
Thank you.
No, okay. Okay.
Hello,
Please, I
everyone.
will appreciate. Sorry, please, I will appreciate if you can mute your mic so that we can get to hear everybody. And please turn on your camera. Turn on your camera and please mute your mic. Thank you so much.
Unmute your mic. Unmute.
Okay. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. I'm very happy to see my friends here joining us. Some of them as speakers, some of them as attenders. So welcome all of you to Global Summit Education, an event organized by Emerald Edu Concept and Services, I think so, Global Education Summit, Education for Peace and Sustainable Development. We are talking today about in collaboration, in partnership with Global Education Network, GEN. That's why our people are here today, and I am here for the same cause. So if we are talking about peace, let's remember what John Lennon said. Peace is not something you want. Peace, it's something you do. It's something you create. It's something you are. It's what you pass on. So please remember this always, because education and peace are well related. If I would say some words, some descriptions of peace made by students, listen what peace means for them. For one of them, peace means life and survival. It means living in our homes and sleeping without being displaced. It is reflected in the way we behave with each other and in the way we work and live. It means respect, said another student. The silence of the other and to listen to his song, to respect and realize that every human being has a value. Peace. It means having a social order and freedom of opinion and to have a government. Those descriptions are for some of the students. So you see how peace is related to education. Welcome once again, all of you, and have a pleasant evening all together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Corina, for that. That's beautiful. Thank you. So I can see the comments. I can see Rita from Mexico. Hi, Rita. I can see Suganta from Malaysia. Hi. Just you're doing very great. So all right. So take us on the next one is to have the person who has called us to this call and to know why we are here today. I'd love to invite Oduso Yalale Kwadiola to take us on the next session. Please mute your mic and turn on your camera. Thank you so much.
Okay, good evening from Nigeria. This is 4 p.m. Nigeria time. And of course, I know we are in different time zones all over the world. Let me welcome everybody to today's meeting. Briefly, to know why we are here. The first time we conceived this idea, it was about having to discuss the role of education in peace making in the country. Of course, we all know that the world is experiencing different turmoil when it comes to tribal discord. We talk about war. We talk about a whole lot of problems in our world today. And of course, we understand that education is vital towards achieving sustainable peace. Specifically, when you look at Africa, where I am coming from, where I come from, you observe that a lot of discord, a lot of conflicts that are happening are as a result of people not getting the right education. Most people in places where there are problems, you observe that people that are not being educated, that have been frustrated as a result of lack of something to do without education and everything, are the one causing problem. In Nigeria, for instance, we know of Boko Haram, and who are told not to go to school, and then of course they said education is not proper, and the whole lots of problems like that. Now, having looked at it today, UNESCO have said this is the best time to look at how we can fine-tune education in order to achieve sustainable peace. How does education relate to this? When we train children and they know what they are supposed to do, they know how to coexist with people, they know how to relate better. Education open your eyes. You are learned about other people's culture, tolerance, demands, and so on and so forth. So today we get to look at how well we can use education, most especially teaching, to achieve sustainable development goal and of course sustainable peace. So we have experts here that will be talking about different aspects of peace, and now every education stakeholder, be it a teacher, be it policy maker, be it a school leader, be it government agency, non-governmental organization, how we can now begin to use education as a powerful tool to change the world. Of course, one great man would say education is a tool to change the world, is the golden key to liberate people. So this gathering today is meant to, one, enlighten us to know our role as educators and education experts in peace building and building sustainable peace in our country, in our continent. The program also give us a platform to share ideas on the way forward as touching to the sustainable development goals, sustainable peace, and now we can begin to implement it right from our classroom and across the globe. So today's meeting is going to be a wonderful one, an eye-opener. Of course, everybody will have opportunity to share their ideas, to discuss their experience, and of course, give us sustainable solution to some of these key challenges we are facing in our world. On behalf of the board executives, on behalf of the executive directors, and of course, on behalf of Global Education Network, who are also part of this journey, I want to say welcome everyone to this discussion, and I hope we have a wonderful discussion. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you so much. That was powerful. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we'll be having our keynote address, and I would love to read the profile of our keynote speaker before I bring him on board. Our first keynote speaker is Professor. Sorry, I will be very careful with the pronunciation, but I will try as much as possible to pronounce the name correctly. But please just pardon me. So I have Professor Tasud Eric Izenlele. He's the current director of the School of Public and Operation Management and the previous chair of Department of Operation Management at the University of South Africa. He acquired all his formal qualification at UNISA since he first registered in 1999, and he completed his junior BCom informatics degree in 2001.
Hello, Mr. Tosin. Ms. Tosin?
Yes, I can hear you.
Professor Dr. Siam is the first keynote speaker, please. Professor Dr. Siam is the first keynote
Yeah.
speaker.
Maybe I want him to speak first, but it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just take, I'm so sorry about that. So let me take Professor Sinam first. I can see on my screen looking very beautiful. You look beautiful, ma'am.
Yes,
So,
she's very beautiful.
you look very beautiful. So I will take your profile very quickly. So Professor Dr. Siham is a director and business consultant, Arrow Research Consultancy in Ocean region. She is an entrepreneur, thought leader, and an adult educator specialist. She holds a PhD in environmental management and a master's in education, a master's of public administration, and a bachelor of English literature with honors. Before establishing a business consultancy, Arrow Research Consultancy Limited in June 2014, she held various academic positions as the head of academic faculty, business, finance, and English, director of research, senior lecturer, and guest speaker in various university and tertiary institutions overseas and in New Zealand, e.g. Mavi Online, UK and Singapore, and the University of Waikato, Massey University in New Zealand, Southern Cross University in Australia, and the American University in Cairo. With please welcome with me Professor Shiham as she takes us on the first keynote tonight. Please, I need you to send emojis just to bring her on board, that we are so happy to have her. All right, please mute your mic, turn on your videos. We'd love to see your beautiful faces. Thank you. You're welcome, ma'am.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Greetings. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you all from Aotearoa, New Zealand, the land of the long white cloud. It's 4 a.m. here in the morning. So guys, we're ahead of you. You are Saturday, we are Sunday. So we usually see the sun of the new year before anybody else in the whole world. But still, we love to be with you guys and share with you our experience, the few hours that we're ahead of you. Is it possible, please, to give me the opportunity to share my slides, please?
Yes. Mr. Ahmed, kindly make Professor Dr. Siam, you are a host. You can share your slide.
Okay, thank you very, very much for that. So it's actually an honor. It's a pleasure to be here with you today to talk about a very important topic, as mentioned by the previous introductions of my dear colleagues. So I would like to, I'm just trying to adjust my screen. What is happening?
I'm not bringing my
I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's stop sharing and start all over again.
Mute your mic. Please mute your mic. Thank you.
Okay. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, I think it will work now. The technology is wonderful when it works, but embarrassing when it doesn't. Okay. So let us do this. Is it clear to everybody? Okay.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, we have it.
Oh, I think there's yes, there's interference. Okay. Yeah, I know now. So the title of my topic today that I would like to discuss with you is the role of educators in promoting a peace education in line with the SDG and the sustainable education, which is the main two topics of today.
What's going on? And please, we appreciate if your mic is muted. Mr. Ament, can you mute everybody?
So
Thank you.
this is
I'm
the
so sorry
content
about
of
that.
my presentation. I will start with the brief introduction, then the definition of peace education. What does it mean? Its key components. And then I would like to look at how we are going to merge that with the SDGs and its significance. Then what is our role as educators?
Yeah, look,
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. Let's start. Let us start. As I was mentioning earlier, yeah, when technology works, it's great, but when it doesn't, yeah. Anyway, so we are, as we all know, we're living in this rapidly changing world, which has got a lot of diverse challenges that we are meeting, and we are actually in pursuit of global peace. And of course, the sustainable development, and that is standing in the forefront, and it is extremely important for us worldwide. So in order to recognize the pivotal role of us as educators in shaping the few generations, in this presentation, I am going to delve in this vital nexus between educators, peace education, and a sustainable development goals. So at the heart of this exploration, the main fundamental question is going to be, how can educators serve as catalysts in promoting peace education in alignment with the broader framework of sustainable development? So let us have a look at a brief definition. What is peace education? I've heard from my wonderful colleague, Corina. She provided for us how the students actually defined it. Peace education is a holistic concept. It encompasses a lot of things for different people: physical, emotional, intellectual, social growth. It starts from our childhood and it grows with us. This framework is deeply rooted in our human values. It also based in philosophies that we teach as educators. We want to teach our students, our societies, our communities. Want to teach them love, want to teach them compassion, trust, fairness, cooperation. Don't we all want to live in harmony with each other? It is important to do that in this beautiful planet that we're living on. So it also, we can see it is a multi-dimension and it's an interdisciplinary approach. So we need to look at it from this perspective as educators in order to incorporate it in our curriculums, in our teachings, in order to foster the knowledge, the skills, the attitudes, the values that are necessary for the individuals that we are preparing them for their future lives and careers. So as we can see, it goes beyond the concept of absence of violence and conflict. We are seeking here to address the root causes of social, political, economic, and environmental issues in order to live in justice and in harmony and in a beautiful world. So there are different components of it. We can say it's social responsibility. We can say it is nurturing ethical development. It's human rights. It's personal peace. It's cultural solidarity. It's lots of things. We look at it and see the key components if we want to understand how we are going to include and explore the causes of conflicts and understand it. If you do not understand it, you will not be able to find the right solutions for it. So we're trying to build those conflict resolution skills accordingly. And also we're trying to attract the attention and encourage this critical thinking for social justice and human rights. We're trying to be more inclusive, to understand the diversity in the different cultures. We are living in a global world, so we're aiming at actually providing and nurturing the global citizenship element, and also at the same time looking at environmental sustainability and advocating for non-violence and pacifism, and also helping in media literacy and critical thinking, and of course, educational environment. So all this would help for active engagement and social change for our societies. So when we implement all these key components in our education, we should do that from early childhood until higher education to equip the individuals with the knowledge and the skills that is needed to contribute more in a peaceful and just world. So if we're going to look at peace education concepts and its evolution, it actually went through a long process, a historical event and movements that helped this concept to evolve. It emerged as a response to devastated consequences of wars, of conflicts, of human rights abuses. So over time, it reached where we are today. So if we're going to look at a timeline, it started from the post-World War I and II, which laid the groundwork for international cooperation and the promotion of peace through education. Then after that happened the Cold War era, which actually the consequences of it was to call for the importance of diplomacy. Then in the 1960s and the 1970s, there's the anti-war and civil rights movement that happened. Then the United Nations, the UNESCO Constitution that was adopted in 1945, and this highlighted the commitment of peace education. Then in the 1980s and the 1990s, there was more focus on conflict resolutions that was followed by the post-war Cold Era for global citizen education. And then the 21st century, a comprehensive approach to peace. And then afterwards, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that was adopted in 2015. And we are going to go through the different goals and how it actually is advocating for peace education, not only goal 14 or goal 16, but there are lots of other goals that I will go through them with you. There's also the current trends that's happening nowadays, the online, our global connectivity. I'm here in New Zealand on Sunday, you are there in the other part of the world on Saturday. So look at, this is important, the holistic approach, our well-being and mindfulness. So if we're going to look specifically at the United Nations, the SDGs 2030, there is goal 4, it focuses mainly on quality education, highlighting the intrinsic connection between education and sustainable development. It also addresses not only the symptoms, but the root causes of those global changes, promoting a holistic approach to education that goes beyond the academic achievement. So if we're going to look specifically at the SDG clause 4.7, it says ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for everybody. Never leave anybody behind. So peace education contributes to this SDG goal by fostering a culture of peace with educational institutions, providing the students with knowledge and skills that are needed for conflict resolution and peace coexistence, also promoting respect of diversity, human rights, and social justice, encouraging active participation in creating a more just, equitable, and sustainable world. There is also the SDG 16. It is advocating and aiming for peace, justice, and strong institutions. SDG 5, gender equality, so no violence against women, and promoting inclusive and equitable education for all. SDG 10, also reducing inequalities, so requesting social cohesion. There is also SDG 13, which is climate change, which is also important. And SDG 1, 2, and 3, no poverty, zero hunger, good health, and well-being. So educating individuals about peace, justice, and global citizenship is considered essential for achieving the broader goals of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. So what is our role? What are we supposed to contribute? How can we be agents of change? But we are the shapers of the future, of the leaders, our students. We influence their critical thinking. We are building their global citizenship through education and through nurturing them, their minds, also building those inclusive communities, starting from their childhood, starting from the classroom, from the community, from the home. Everybody is collaborating and working together in order to also have the skills of conflict resolution and preventing radicalization and extremism. Also, we work in alignment with the tertiary education goals, and this is done by our research, by our academic contributions in the field. So we educators would be using certain strategies, of course, in tertiary education. So we incorporate peace education into our curriculum, and I'll provide you soon with examples. Also, facilitate dialogue and discussions. Our students should feel safe within their environment, safe to sound their opinions, to share their feelings, and to promote their critical thinking. And this could happen also by including real-world case studies so that we learn from them, encourage interdisciplinary approaches, and engage them in experiential learning, promote global citizenship. That is my fourth time to mention it, so that all of us would live in harmony, encourage research projects in the field and area, and of course, integrate technology. And also, it's very important for us as educators to keep up with our professional development, create those safe and inclusive spaces for our students, and collaborate, of course, with other peace organizations, and always require feedback and assessment in order to know where we stand. Are we really achieving what we set up to do? And engage our communities and learn from these. So when we implement all those strategies, educators can contribute significantly to the promotion and impact of peace education within tertiary institutes. These are more strategies that if you want to target them specifically to the sustainable strategies, there's some overlapping between the ones that I just mentioned. So let us have a look at some of those real-life examples to demonstrate how the tertiary education institutes from the whole world, different cases. They are actively promoting peace education, leveraging certain strategies to engage students, and fostering critical thinking and contributing to the culture of peace on campus and beyond. So we have an example, the curriculum integration at the American University in Washington, and that program is called Conflict Resolution Skills for Global Affairs. It equips the students to have practical skills in conflict resolution, negotiation, and mediation. If we're going to take another example from the UK, which is the experiential learning at the University of Bradford, this also helps the students to visit conflict-affected regions, meet with local peace builders, and gain first-hand insight on peace-building efforts. As we all know, as individuals, we learn by doing. Also, there is another example from Canada, Global Citizenship Initiatives at McGill University. And this is an interdisciplinary program that encourages students to critically examine the global issues and their implication for justice and peace. Another example from Rwanda, a collaboration with peace organizations at Kigali Institute of Education. And this also helps the students to engage in peace building projects and participate in workshops that are organized by them. Also in Australia, there is the technology integration at the University of Queensland. And this also provides a forum of collaboration of projects to connect the students with peers globally. Norway, the real world case studies of the University of Oslo, the students there analyze historical and contemporary conflicts, examining the success and challenges that are met in peace building efforts. In South Africa, there is the Safe and Inclusive Spaces at the University of Cape Town. These projects assist in open dialogue on campuses, allowing the students to discuss social justice issues and explore constructive solutions. Here in New Zealand, we have the Global Citizenship Education in Victoria University in Wellington. That's our capital. And this helps the students to engage in discussions about global issues, ethical responsibility, and the interconnectedness of societies. Also, we have another example from Lincoln University, that's in the South Island, and that helps the students to gain a broader understanding of a peace building and sustainable development. And also from the Eastern Institute of Technology here in New Zealand, helps the students engage in discussions and projects to align the broader goals of peace, education, and sustainable development. So in conclusion, as we have seen, with all those different cases, the evolution of peace education reflects the society's changing understanding of peace, justice, and human rights. It continues to adapt to contemporary challenges, empowering the interconnectedness of local and global issues, while striving to empower individuals to be agents of positive change in these communities of the world. And thank you very, very much.
That was beautiful. Oh my God. Thank you so much. That was awesome. That was awesome. Please, let's send emojis to show that we are excited about what she just, in fact, I learned a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I'm going to take the second session, and that will be taken by Dr. Rita. I would just love to introduce her briefly. So Dr. Rita is in Mexico, if I get that correctly. Then she's a PhD holder in educational science, Master in Education, and Master in Innovation and English Didactics, Human Rights and Peace International Ambassador. Please put them together and welcome Dr. Rita. Hi. Are you muted over there? Oh, okay, awesome. Dr. Rita, let me check out.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning, greetings from Mexico. Thank you. That was a brief bio, very, very brief. Yes, and thank you for this invitation. Thank you, Karina, GEN, for letting me be here with you. I will try to be brief with my presentation. I hope I can share. Yes, thank you. And I will continue talking about what Dr. Shiham was talking about, peace and education. And I will try to give you some tips on how we could promote peace in education. Okay, this is me. I won last year an award for human rights, promoting human rights and peace in Mexico. And well, I have won some awards from all around the world from promoting peace, also in education and human rights, the dignity, trying to dignify human in the whole world. And that is part, and we begin, education begins with us. Peace begins with us. And if we don't have peace with us, if we don't have education and we don't promote it, it's difficult for our students to understand it. It's difficult for our community or our family to also live it. Establishing lasting peace is the work of education. All politics can do is keep us out of war. That is what Maria Montessori said once. And part of peace and part of education begins in our family. If we don't live it in family, it's very difficult for our children, our family, also to learn it in school. And of course, if politics do their work, well, I think that their principal work is to keep us out of war. And it's a pity that we are living war in this century. We still have war in this century in many countries. Well, reviewing part of the definitions about war, when they ask me what peace is, what peace means to me, because I also belong to a community of teachers that promote peace here in Mexico, here in my state, especially. And for me, peace is not the absence of war, as it says here, it's not the absence of conflict, but it's a dynamic process that requires continuous effort and commitment. Peace means that we have to be happy with what we are doing. Peace means that we have to be more human. We have to have less conflicts in our home, in our community, in our schools. And of course, education plays a pivotal role in this process by nurturing the values, attitudes, and skills necessary for building and sustaining peace. We have, I think it's not only here in Mexico, I think it's the whole world, that we have lack of values. Students don't know what values are. Our children don't know what values are. We see so many videos, we see so many things in the street where children almost hit their parents. Well, they cry, they act in a very negative attitude, and what do their parents do? They can't control them, and that is part of the lack of value. We are seeing that there is lack of peace in their house, and it's so easy just to maybe not make our children cry by giving them what they want, buying money, everything is money now. Everything is consuming, everything is material. And that is not peace. Yes. And we need to stop that. We need to do something else. And we need to show them that we can have peace and we could be happy without so many material stuff, without so many money. And that is why we have so many children that are living in poverty that are not so happy because of all these commercials where if you want to be happy, buy this. If you want to be in peace, buy this. So we need to start changing our attitudes. We need to start showing more values, reshowing our values, because all of us have it. Well, what I want to present today is the circles of peace and education. How can we manage and how can we control and show our students how to be in peace by working these circles of peace? Why circles? For centuries, we don't know when a circle began, but for centuries, we know that the main part of a community was gathering in circle, sometimes just by a simple sitting in circles and start speaking, we already are in peace. So for many, many centuries, our communities, our ancestors thought that being in a circle, reuniting in a circle, was the answer to being happy, to having peace, to have communication, to be able to look at each other eye to eye, face to face, and say and tell us what was happening. This was the way that a long time ago in different cultures, they used to solve their problems, their own community problems. So why not take it to school? Why not take it to communities? Yes. And a circle of peace in education is a concept that refers to creating peaceful environments within educational settings. This approach emphasizes the importance of nurturing a culture of peace, empathy, understanding, and conflict resolution within schools and educational institutions. This is not only for education. This is for any other place. If we try to maybe even try to visualize our dining room, most of the time our table is round. And when we eat in a round table, I think that, I mean, we seem to be closer to everyone. There is no corners. There are no who is the head. Everybody is the head. Everybody is at the same place. Everybody has the same value. The idea is to create spaces where students, teachers, and staff feel safe, respected, and valued, promoting positive relationships and sense of community. We are all the same. There is no leaders. There is no, the teachers could be sitting not in a special place. The spaces, the places are exactly the same for everyone. These circles often involve practices such as restorative justice circles, where individuals come together to discuss issues, express their feelings, and work towards resolutions in a respectful and inclusive manners. When there is a restorative justice with the lawyers, with this new, here in Mexico, it's new, with the mediators, the tables are round. There are no squared, there are no rectangular tables. They are round because everybody is able to speak at different moments And they have to feel the same. They have to feel that confidence to be able to express what they want and what they need to express. And that is why it has been taken to education. It has been taken to schools, and it is very effective. Here in schools, it is promoted. It is, we want it not to be tables. We want them to be sitting maybe at the floor, maybe on a chair, but without that space that could limit our expressions. These practices aim to address conflicts and disciplinary issues in a way that focuses on understanding the root causes of behavior and finding resolutions or solutions that restore relationships and promote learning. Most of the time, it doesn't have to be a problem. It doesn't have to be a problem solving. It could also be to know each other, to maybe understand the feelings of everyone. The concept of circle of peace in education aligns with broader efforts to promote peace education, which seeks to equip individuals with knowledge, with skills and attitudes needed to contribute to a more peaceful and sustainable world. Talking about our fourth goal, sustainable goal. How do we have these circles? We integrate these practices into educational settings, schools, and schools can play a crucial role in fostering a culture of peace and empowering students to become active agents of positive change in their communities and beyond. This doesn't have to be leadership by the teachers, by the principals, by the directors, by the students' councils. It could also be led by the own students. And I am presenting some examples of these circles of peace and how to implement them in education, in schools. The first one is a restorative circle. These circles bring together students, teachers, and sometimes we could also include the parents or some community members, yes, to address conflicts or harm in a restorative manner. This could also be, it doesn't have to be a problem that is happening in school. It could be a problem that is happening in the whole community, but all of us have to come together. All of us have to be hand by hand to solve this problem. That is why, depending on the problem, we can call parents, and we could also call part of the communities. How do we practice this circle? Well, we all sit in circle. We know that we all have to sit in circles. Sometimes, as I said, it could be on chairs. It could also be on the floor. And there is most of the time with these circles, we have facilitators which will try to lead, because we need someone to begin the conversation. We need someone to be active and to be the one that is trying to ask everyone to speak. Yes. So we sit in circles, a facilitator guides the conversation to allow everyone to share their perspectives, feelings, and experiences related to the issue at hand. The goal is to reach a resolution that repairs harm and restores relationships rather than to focusing solely on punishment. These circles of peace, if we want peace, we have to stop punishing. Yes. Sometimes we think that the best answer is punishment, but it only harms us. So we have to keep aside punishment and really try to look for a solution, but a peaceful solution. And this makes us, when we start listening to everyone, when we hear their feelings, our feelings, even us, when we start speaking aloud about our feelings, it feels like oh my God, this thing that I've been keeping in my heart goes away. I feel lighter. I feel less heavier. Yes. So that is one of the circles. The second circle is a community building circle. These circles are designed to build a sense of community and belonging within the school. Sometimes our community doesn't even know how the school is working. Because we have a lot of people in the community that don't have children and that don't send them to the school or to this school. So it's a way to have this link with our community too. They can be used at the beginning of the school year or after a break to help students and teachers get to know each other, share their hopes and concerns for the upcoming year, and establish norms for respectful communication and interaction. This is very good, especially when it's the first year of school for our students, because this way they feel that they belong. They start really acting for the school. They start caring about the school. Many of our students, especially when they're just on their way for a year or 2 years, well, they'll start damaging the school. This is a very good circle to make them feel that the school is theirs, that they belong also in this school, and that they have to take care of the school, and that it doesn't have to be their own classmates in their room. It could also be a very good friendship with their classmates from other years, and also the community. Talking circles. Talking circles provide a structured format for discussing important topics or issues relevant to the school community. These talking circles do not have to be taken from a problem. It could be any discussion that has to be talked about, that has to be discussed at any moment during the school year. During the school year, after the school year, before the school year. And the way that is done is that participants take turns speaking while others listen without interruptions. This format encourages active listening and respectful dialogue, allowing everyone to contribute to the conversation. This is very important, and this could be done in the classroom when there is a special and an important topic to talk about, to discuss about. And this helps them to be active listeners. Sometimes an active listener, as we think, is just to listen and to answer. That is not an active listener. An active listener is someone that knows when to listen when they are asked to speak. Sometimes an active listener just has to listen and never speak. But it means that we are paying attention. How many times do we discuss our problems and we think that people are listening to us, but they are not listening? Yes, maybe they are just hearing noises. Yes, and maybe they are just looking at us and our mouth is just opening and closing, but they are not listening. And an active listener really cares about what you are speaking, what you are talking, and knows when you need them just to listen and when you need them to give an opinion. So we have to teach our students, and we have to learn ourselves how to be active listeners. And that is also bringing us peace in school, in our community, in our home. Then we have the peace circles. A peace circle focuses especially on promoting peace-building skills such as empathy, conflict resolution, and emotional regulation. In this circle, this is where we really teach, and we promote, and we discuss about what peace means, how to promote peace with other people. These circles may include activities. These circles is where we could also be active. We don't necessarily have to always speak and listen. Here we can maybe we could color, maybe we could cut, maybe we could even dance in these circles. and discuss that may help participants develop a deeper understanding of what peace is and its importance in their lives and communities. Yes, as I said at the beginning, if we don't live peace, we cannot promote peace. Then we have the peer meditation circles. This is where we train beforehand our students for them to be the meditation, for them to promote the mediators, to facilitate circles aimed at resolving conflicts between their peers. Sometimes when students are the facilitators, when students are the teachers, they have better resolutions than us teachers. And so between them, between peers, this is how they could promote meditation. And how do we get along with this circle is, well, these circles provide a safe space for students to express themselves and to work towards finding mutually acceptable solutions to their conflicts with the guidance of a trained meditators. A trained meditator is, in this case, a known student. So here are only 5 examples of how peace circles or circles of peace could be taken along during a class, during a school year, in school, with the students, with the teachers, with the community. Yes, and I just said briefly how to implement them. I know that this has to be a longer one. This is just an example, and trying to make you promoters and trying to make you part of these circles of peace. Of course, every school will adjust them as they are needed. Yes, the key is to create inclusive and supportive spaces where all members of school community feel heard, valued, and empowered to contribute to a culture of peace and understanding. This is the importance of, that is why it is decided as a circle of peace. But the school knows better, the teacher knows better how to promote and how to make the school community really feel valued, most important. And as John Lennon said and Karina said, all you need is peace. The day the power of love overrules the love of power, the world will know peace. Mahatma Gandhi. Yes, I am truly a promoter of peace, a promoter of human rights. I believe in peace. I believe in human rights. I believe that without peace, without human rights, we cannot walk further. And if we don't promote it with our surroundings, we cannot have a better world. I know that it's very difficult to create a better world for everyone. But as I always said, we cannot change the world, but we can change our world. And so it's in us to have a world of peace. Thank you very much. And I hope you have enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. We cannot change the world, but we can change our world. That's beautiful. That was powerful. Thank you for that beautiful session. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to continue again. So if you've not dropped where you're joining us from in the chat box, please do that. I need to know where you are joining us from. I think I've seen some, I saw some earlier. Let me just say hi to you in the comment section. Tell me your name and where you're joining from. All right, so we are going to be having our panel session now, and I would love to invite the first panelist, and we'll be having Dr. Please, just the pronunciation of the name. I'll be very careful to say the right pronunciation, but please, you have to bear with me if I don't get your name pronounced correctly. But I will try as much as possible to pronounce it correctly. All right. So the first person we'll be having on the panel today is going to be Dr. Mutmainah. I hope I got that. Did I? Okay. And you're welcome. And another person we'll be having on the panel session today is, we'll be having Johan Dijoni. Hey God, you guys have to bear with me, but I will try. And another one, we have Patricia on the panel session today. And we also have Kapiu, and we also have Sutgar too on the panel session. Okay. Hi, Sutgar. Hi. Trust you're doing very great. All right. All right, so I'll be taking my questions. I'll be asking my questions to, first, I would love to ask Sutgar. My first question to you will be that, how can education be a catalyst to fostering peace and sustainability in our community? Did you get my question? I have to come again.
Good day.
Good day.
Yeah, can you repeat again? Maybe I lost a bit.
Okay, it's fine. So my first question to you will be that, how can education be a catalyst for fostering peace and sustainability in our communities?
Okay. Again, a very good evening. And it's midnight here, Malaysia. Okay, and I think same as Indonesia, Miss Dr. Mutmainah is, I think, more or less same time. Okay, first of all, thanks for the opportunity. And here, I think I know Miss Corina. Okay, and okay, regarding the peace, and back to your question, Miss Olwatosin. Okay, I think I pronounce your name correctly. Okay, regarding peace and the role of educator.
You got it. Come on.
Yeah, okay, the role of educator. I think previous keynote speakers already mentioned that without peace, we cannot educate the peace. Okay, that means we cannot teach the peace for the students. Okay, and my point of view in peace is collaborate the technology because our current situation, we can't live without the technology. So the technology is integrating for the peace, and as an educator, we have to more integrated the technology to realize to emphasize the peace among the students, which can lead to the community. That's my point of view. Thank you. I get back to you. Back to you, Miss Olwatosin.
Thank you for that. And I want to direct my second question to Dijoni. I hope I got that. Did I get that correctly? Did I? The name, did I get it correctly? So my second question will be to Yonis Dijoni. And my question, please, are you here? I'm not sure the person is not here. Okay. So okay, let me send my question to Patricia. Is Patricia on this call? Patricia, can you say hi to us so that I'll be sure you are on this call?
Johnny is here. I can see him on the screen. I saw the Patricia as well before. Johnny.
Okay. Okay, since I'm not sure Patricia is here, so let me just direct my second question to Dr. Mutmaina. So my second question will be that how can Hi Patricia.
Sorry,
You're welcome.
I was muted. I couldn't unmute.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes,
Okay.
that's all right.
So okay,
Yes,
so
I can come
my third
after
question will be
Mutmaina.
for you. So Mutmaina will take the second question now. So I want to ask Mutmaina, in what way can curriculum design incorporate value and practices that will promote peace and sustainability?
Okay, thank you very much for your question, ma'am, and good happy midnight from Indonesia. And then thank you so much for your kind invitation. And then this is the pleasure, and I'm really happy to join in with you in this the panel discussion. We are discussion about the education. And then happy International Day of Education to all of you, the participant, the keynote speaker from Indonesia. Well, about the curriculum, like in Indonesia, in my country, after COVID-19, we redesign our curriculum into the simple curriculum. But the problem, there are many problems here. The first one, our educator still know how to teach, how to use, and how to training the student with this piece of education. Mean that here the piece of education we getting know about the quality of education. The quality of education, how we are designing our curriculum, mostly for the student-centered learning approach, and of course from textual into the contextual. This is the big issue in Indonesia because most of the educator, the teachers, still doing conventional method. They are talking too much about the theory, nothing how to doing collaboration in the classroom, and then make them more active in the classroom. The second one about the 21st or 21st century skill. As we know that mostly we are still in this theory about the 21st century skill. This is only the learning skill. The learning skill about the 21st century skill, you know, maybe all of us here, we know and we understand about the four main core of the 21st century skill: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and doing creativity in the classroom. Unfortunately, about the 21st century skill, this is not only about this one, the learning skill, but we have three taxonomy for the 21st century skill. Learning skill that I mentioned before. And the second one about the literacy skill. Indonesia, right now, we are very badly news. We still low in literacy, all of literacy. So literacy skill mean here related to the some of the concept. This is about information literacy, media literacy, and technology literacy. Of course, our educators still low for this one about the literacy skill also. And the last about the life skill. Life skill, this is also the very important one because we understand that education, this is the holistic process, right? We are not only transfer our knowledge to the student, we are teaching about the theory, we are teaching about the concept and many and soon and blah, blah, blah. But also, because this is the holistic process, we are also developing, training our student how they are increased their metacognitive skill, their character, their behavior, value, morality. So this is in Indonesia curriculum right now. We are having the policy of curriculum, namely Merdeka curriculum or freedom to learn, we hope our educator can get it the key point of the holistic process education itself. Life skill, this is mean that flexibility and adaptability, because right now we should be adapt with the new habit. Our new habit right now, we are in the digital era. There are so many information. That's why we must be more aware about this the information. And then the second one about leadership and responsibility, because in the classroom, we also training our student about the leadership. How we do that? In my experience, in my class, I always ask my student to do a collaborative project, and then they are building team, they are building community, they are working in group in the class, and then each of the group, they will be a training, we will be training our student about the leadership. They have responsibility to their group, they must be shared, they must also how to support their teamwork. And then initiative and self-direction, self-direct and self-determined in learning, or autonomy in learning. This is also the big problem in Indonesia, not only for the educator, but also for the student itself. Because most of them, educator, the teacher, they are still doing textually. They are teaching their student by using what is the textbook inside, what is the textbook meaning. They are not bring out the textbook, the textual environment into the contextual, how to creating the activities in the classroom with the meaningful experience. So this is the some of the key point. The third about our new culture of learning. To support the quality of education, we must be change the way we are learning and the way we are teaching. Why? Because right now we are in the digital era. We are in the globalization. Everything right now, we must be changed. The student must be changed into the digital student, also the educator. The new culture of learning, for example, here, we are learning by doing. We're designing our activities in the classroom because we are talking about the curriculum. You are asking me about the curriculum. So this is from the syllabus, the learning, the lesson plan, the activities, the main core of the learning, the activities, it should be learning by doing. That's why I'm always mention my my opinion, my interpretation about the student condition today. The Gen Z, they are only focused to you, to the teacher, only 15 until 20 minutes. After that, if you are not designing your activities in the classroom to make them more doing, learning by doing, be active, you will be lost. So that's why we are in Indonesia, we are having this responsibility, so many responsibility. We are training our teacher, we are training our colleagues to be by doing this, learning by doing the activities in the classroom. We are designing some of the teaching model to support learning by doing. And then use the technology. Of course, for today, we should be adapt with this new habit and new culture by using this technology. And then we are not only focused for the individual, but also we are focused to do the collaboration. Increase the student empathy, the morality. This is also covered in Indonesia Merdeka curriculum, namely profile Pancasila. Pancasila, this is the ideology of Indonesia. This is mean that we are having the harmony each other because we are a human, we are socially, we are doing so many interaction, and then right now our socially, our habit right now, we having not only for human doing interaction, but also we are having interaction with the machine learning, like artificial intelligence. So that's why we have so many homework actually that I just really give to you the example from my country, and I hope you get it what I mean. And then you can practice. You can also, if you wanted to doing a sharing to me, you can contact me, and then I will be pleasure to share my experience regarding for the quality of education, especially in Indonesia. Thank you very much. Good night. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. So if we want to contact you, Mutmainah, how can we do that? Is it on LinkedIn?
About this one?
Yeah, how can we reach you? Can we get you on LinkedIn?
A link about?
Okay, you said that we can reach out to you if we want to learn more. So I'm saying that where can we like reach out to you? Can we do that on LinkedIn? Are you on LinkedIn?
On LinkedIn about?
She's asking, Mutmainah, she's asking about your account, LinkedIn account, in order to get in contact with you.
Yeah, I have it. I will share to you. Sorry.
Yeah.
I have it to you. I will share in the group, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, and my Facebook. It's okay. I think some of here we are a friend in Facebook, and I will share also all of my social media account. Don't worry.
Thank you, Mutmainah. Thank you. So Patricia, I would love to direct my next question to you. And I want to ask that, how can educators address social justice issue within the framework of education for peace and sustainability? Did you get my question?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes. I heard your question. Thank you so much. Global Education Network, Emerald, Education Services, for giving me this opportunity to be. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, perfectly. We can.
All right, it's okay. For giving me this opportunity to be with you today to discuss about pertinent issues, especially to do with education. As we all know that it has been over-quoted, I know that education is the weapon that you can use to transform, to change the world. So as we all know that we are living in a global world whereby there are so many societal problems that happen, especially that affect our children. And as educationists, it is our duty now to be able to use the weapon that we have as of education in solving these problems. We have got a myriad of societal problems, and I think that we need to move as fast as we can in terms of addressing these society problems that we have. For example, I can give an example. Our children are not living in peaceful homes right now because of what we call domestic violence. And as adults, we are living in a world where we've got problems. Domestic violence has caused so much that sometimes you find a child in your classroom is sitting in his or her corner, cannot even speak, and is afraid of adults who should protect them. But now there is a mother figure or a father figure whom he or she sees at home, and they are prone to this violence. Sometimes they are also caught in that violence situation. So this harrowing specter of domestic violence, especially, it inflicts so many wounds in our children that we have in our classrooms, so much that it disrupts their emotional, their moral, and it also goes to their academic performance in the classroom because they cannot even concentrate. Worse still, when that child comes to a school whereby there are no safe learning spaces, what are we doing as educators? There are no safe learning spaces. The same problem that the child is facing at home is the same problem that now that child is facing at school. So it is our duty as educators so that we can provide. I know that someone has talked about it, those safe spaces for children to seek support. At my school right now, we have, especially during COVID times, we know that now the fathers and mothers were together. Some didn't used to be together, now they were together. So many problems came, solving them together in the same house. So now we have now these problems and these children come into our school. So as children, as educators, we should have that support that we should give our children. For example, do you have an educational counselors? Do we have counselors in your school? At our school, we have a teacher who has got a counseling, whom we have sent for our counseling courses, so that at least she knows the children well. She can address the issues that our children are facing. So those are some of the things that we can do in the classroom. Safe support systems. Then also, what systems do you have? Do we have a child protection policy at your schools that is also able to help these children that we have, because they come from a diverse background? So we should have, in our schools, we should consider inclusivity and also diversity of cultures that we have. What we think is normal to us is not what someone is normal to them. For example, I can give an example of our children who do not celebrate birthdays, they do not celebrate Christmas or any. Here it's a Portuguese school, we've got events that we do like Carnival. So those are some of the problems that we have, and as a school, we have to have child protection policies that protect our children. We have to have in our classrooms, class rules, school rules that can address some of these problems. Yes, they are coming from the society, but we also have to address them at an educational angle that we can think of. So I thought that I could also share with you. We also have children who have faced so many abuse in all its forms, physical, sexual, you can name it all. And then what are we going to do in terms of social justice? So education systems should be there to integrate trauma-informed practices that can help our children. Like I said, counseling, educational initiative that empower our children. Sometimes we call the police force. We've got the Zimbabwe Republic Police, I'm from Zimbabwe, that come and talk to our children, because some of these things, they don't know that we are being abused. I've been called by so and so, he gives me a sweet. They don't even know that they are being abused emotionally, sexually, and so. So those are some of the practices that we should include, especially for our children in the community, because it is going to affect their academic performance and also inability to concentrate in the classroom. Right now, we have got so many problems, societal problems that we need to face as educational systems to help. Substance abuse in my community is very rampant, and it is also, our children are also into it. So sometimes we do those bag checks. Today, our bags are outside, everyone, let's check. We just want to check what our children are bringing into the schools, because it's coming from the society. Some bring CDs, some bring magazines, some see so many things that are not their age. So as schools, what do we do? So this pervasive influence of substance abuse within families can also expose our children to environments of chaos, instability, and neglect. And then as education systems, I think we need to engage, especially in early intervention efforts, and provide counseling and support services for our students as well, so that at least when they come to school, we teach them that this is bad, this is good, this is bad. Some they don't even know that using that verb is bad for their respiratory system. They think that it's fun. So we have to educate our children. Early intervention is very, very important, so that we live in a world that is harmonious. And through history, I know that education has always stood as a beacon of hope, a catalyst of for progress, for fundamental human rights, whereby we can live in an equitable and inclusive society. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you today.
Sharing that. Thank you for sharing those experiences for us. Thank you so much. And so I would love to ask Kapil. Kapil from India. Hi, how is India?
Very well. Thanks a lot.
Okay. So my question to
thanks.
you is, how can technology be leveraged to enhance education for peace and sustainability? How can we use technology?
Yeah,
Did you get my
sure.
question?
Thanks a lot. So first of all, I would like to thank the management for organizing this, inviting me to the panel. So I would like to say only a few words to describe about what I feel about the question that you have. So we have to understand this from the very grassroots level. So first we start with the Dr. CM, what she said. So I think the positivity that she fostered within us, that is only possible when we wake up at 4 a.m. So that is the first thing. So that I mean to say that the early technology adopters are always on the rise. So that is the first part that Dr. CM taught us. And then Dr. Rita talked about the kind of creativity that was fostered within us, the kind of PPTs and various slides that she showed us. They had something very energetic and something very out of the box, unique method of telling us all the things that we already know, but in a new manner. So I think that is the next creativity level that want to leverage within the technology gadgets and the learning mechanism and the pedagogy as well. And the third, I would talk about your Oliver Stawson. I don't know, I'm sorry if I pronounce the name incorrectly. The kind of enthusiasm that you bring to us, that has been from the beginning to this, I think this is remarkable. And these all things we have to deploy within the technology as well. So each and everything has to be so engaging, keeping our rights prospect into mind. May it be the primary education, may it be secondary, may it be the higher education. So depending on the kind of student or the learner, we have to deploy the mechanism where the right things are taught at the right time. I think this is how we can build the robust system, and then we can deploy a holistic approach. The biggest circle of peace that Madam Rita talked about is live in front of me. We have people from 6 continents. I don't know about the South America, but still we have a circle of peace. So we are revolving around the 5, 6 continents. And I'm very hopeful that if we have this energy and we act as an influencer, I think in the form of the technology and the mechanism, the curriculum, I think we'll be able to establish what we are preaching right now. That is the peace and the sustainability in each and every step. We also need to learn that there is a huge difference between the literacy and education. So if we are able to foster and inculcate from the grassroots level the difference, I think our work is done. So communication, soft skills, and then critical thinking, reasoning, ability. So the kind of leadership skills that we need to foster, they can be fostered within. I think I have this much to say. Rest everything was brilliantly covered. I'm an engineer, so I do everything practical. So that's all from my side. Thank you. Kapil from India. And on the edition, I think I'm readily available via LinkedIn and various other platforms. You can always connect with me, and certainly we can have a brainstorming thing once again. Plus, I shall be sharing the call to action in the chat box as well. So all the
Okay.
people are heartily welcome to get connected, and let's take that forward. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, our panelists. Thank you so, so much. So the next event now, I would love to welcome Oduso Yalalekon again for the next session.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for that wonderful panel session. I think we enjoyed it. So much happy that we are all here and we are learning one or two things from it. Thank you so much for the panel session. Like the anchor have said, the session is live on Facebook. There is a Twitter conversation. Tosin kindly put the link for those that want to share with the audience. There is a Twitter conversation ongoing on Twitter as we speak. People are discussing about the program. And then we also have Facebook Live program going on, and of course on YouTube as well. Quickly, my last function here before the next speaker come on is, like I've said, we want to create a platform like this to be engaging educators, education experts across the globe. Our goal is to see that the global attention is drawn toward education and the need to have global voices, all of us having one voice to speak, and of course to see that we achieve the SDGs 4. And of course, it's a collaborative effort among everyone. Of course, that is why we have thought of these two initiatives, this global education summit, starting from, this is just like a preamble of this program, the Global Education Summit, starting from the next year. We are doing programs like this. We are going to be having the Global Education Summit. Of course, we'll get everybody involved as well, and then we have a larger house. This is just like a precursor to next year. We are going to have a committee having something like this. And officially also, let me also say that we are going to be starting the Global Educators webinar starting from this. So it's officially been launched. The Global Education Summit and Global Educators webinar is officially being launched in this program currently. Now I'm launching it. We are launching it right now. And of course, starting from by next February 10, we are going to be having a Global Educators webinar where we are going to be talking about building a global classroom. And of course, will get us to get involved as well. So on behalf of the executive team and everybody here on there, let me say that we have officially launched the Global Education Summit. And the first summit will be happening 2025. This is just a precursor to that program. And then we have also officially launched the Global Educators webinar. And that one will be taking place once every quarter, where we are going to be bringing everybody together to discuss topical issues as well. So these two programs is officially launched, and thank you everyone for being a witness to this launch. It's simple, and then we have started the work. Thank you. Back to you, the anchor, Tosin.
Thank you so much for that. I hope that everybody will look forward to that and be in attendance once we put out our flyers for the event. So I would love to bring in the third keynote speaker, and I would love to introduce him very briefly. Okay, so I think initially I was already reading his profile. I think I want him to come on board very fast. So let me just go over his profile again. So I would love to bring in Professor Eric. Is the current director of the School of Public and Operational Management and the previous chair of Department of Operational Management at the University of South Africa. He acquired all his formal qualification at UNISA since the first registered in 1999, and he completed his junior BCom information degree in 2001. And in 2002, he had a gap year to study in his studies, but he became a tutor for end user computing and information system at UNISA. And in 2003, he joined the School of Computing at UNISA as a postgraduate assistant. and also registered for BCom informations.
I guess Tosin, are you there? I guess she's having network issue, I guess. Tosin, are you there? Oh, Tosin, I think Tosin is having network issue. We usually have okay, Tosin, you can move on. I think you are there. Tosin, move on, please. Tosin, please, you can move on. Mr. Ahmed, kindly make Tosin a co-host. I think we lost our network went off. Ahmed, kindly make Tosin a co-host again. She's back. Tosin, you have been... Oh, I think she's still having network problem.
Okay, can we hear me now?
Yes, we can. We can hear you now.
I'm so sorry about that. It's network. All right, so where am I? So I'll just take the profile from where I stopped. All right, so he's a leader and a visionary, dreamer, motivator, inspirer, speaker, and is a believer of possibility. He's a researcher, he's an entrepreneur, a community builder, a creative writer, and an academic and author. He has written 3 motivational books and entitled Bots, 80 Bots that will save your sinking life. Oh my God. Bots without you, and Bots mind your likes. He has presented books in local and international conferences in the field of competitive intelligence, entrepreneurship, ODEL, and employability. He has published articles in local and international journals. He has directed programs in different platforms. He has coordinated academic sections. He reviewed papers for many academic journal, locally and internationally. He has participated in many research projects. He compiled annual reports for companies at national levels. Professor Eric is a sportsman and has run several marathons, including the Comrade Marathon, which he completed 4 times. Oh my God, I need to come and learn sport from you. So please welcome Professor Eric on board as we have our 3rd session tonight. You're welcome, Prof. Is Prof on this call? Is Prof here or we lost him?
I think he was here before. I think his network. I guess
also. Oh
yes,
my God.
I guess it's network. Okay, I think he's here back. He's back.
Prof, can you hear me?
He's kind of muted.
Please, can we unmute Professor Eric?
Okay. Okay, he has been asked to unmute. Paul, please unmute, and then Ahmed, make him a co-host so he can share his screen.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. You're welcome, Prof.
Thank you so much. It has been a struggle with my network. I don't know what's going on today, but
everywhere is fine.
I think talking about education, I think the system is becoming jealous of what we are talking about. And also trying to distract me from my side. Allow me to share my presentation. Please confirm if you are able to see my presentation.
Yes, we can. It's up now.
Okay. Just gonna make it a PowerPoint presentation. Once again, good evening. Let me just switch on my camera. Good evening, everyone. And it is a pleasure that I can engage you on the topic that has been allocated to me. I am speaking with you from South Africa. It has been a good day, good weather, and all is well. I have been introduced that I am the current school director, and that's the School of Public and Operations Management at the University of South Africa. I am also the founder and the CEO of Nito Sportswear, which is New West brand. The founder and the CEO of Ziakonazia Industries. It's another company that does household products. Also the co-founder and deputy chair of Fombe Leadership Foundation, which is a non-profit organization responsible for producing leaders for Africa and beyond. Also chairman of Wezesha Vocational College located at Namibia. And it is my pleasure to talk on the topic, domesticating learning for Africa by Africans. Yeah, I thought it's very important for me before I engage on the topic of domesticating learning to talk about, you know, the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals, since these workshop, it's zooming into sustainability. And so I think learning, it is that instrument that we can use to speak to SDG number 1, that of no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being. The seminar, the workshop, quality education, and the rest of the SDG. If we want to solve all of them, we need to engage in learning. Now, I thought I need to bring into context the word domesticate. What does it mean to us? And I zoom into the Oxford Dictionary, and what it then said to me is that domestication, or to domesticate, is to make someone be fond of and good at home life. Yeah, and in other words, you need to fall in love with home. So basically, domesticating learning means to bring back learning to our home. Now, the word domestication is not necessarily commonly associated with us as individuals or as people. Domestication is usually related to taking an animal that would usually be found in the bush and bringing it home, and therefore you are then domesticating it. Now, domesticating learning, it means that learning was taking place elsewhere and you want learning to take place in your home, in the comfort of your home. And when I was asking myself why I was given the topic of domesticating learning, And I had to, follow up with Adesanya to say, what am I supposed to be talking about here? And he emphasized that I want you to talk about domesticating learning for Africa by Africans. And I thought it took me back to when I think I could have been around 4, 5 years. In those days, as a family, in the evening, we would sit around the fire, and young ones and the elders would be given an opportunity to share and create stories. And I was among those that were very creative, but I was still very young. And when I was given this topic, I thought this is an opportunity for me to go back to the olden days where we used to have storytelling, and that was our African way of learning and teaching one another. And then I had to come up with something that I think most of the attendees within this workshop would understand, that there's an African proverb which says, it takes a village to raise a child. Now, while we are domesticating learning, in a learning process, there must be a teacher and a learner. Now, if we go back to this proverb, which says it takes a village to raise a child, if we are domesticating the learning, then who is the teacher and who is the learner? Now, a child is not necessarily referring to someone who's younger, but it's referring to someone who is learning. And so let us not flag child as referring to the little one, but it refers to someone who is still in the process of learning. And therefore, all of us are flagged within the word child, because whoever stops learning, starts dying. The moment you start learning, then it means that you are stopping to be wiser. And so all of us, we are child, since we are in the process of learning new things every day. Now, I brought in this picture, which I found on social media, and I put in a question to say, is this domesticating learning? And in this picture, you can see there is lots of facets of issues that are captured in this picture. There is a saying that in a picture, there is 1,000 words. Now, in this particular picture, you would see that there is a heart or several hearts that you can see there. Also, there is a fire in the middle, and then there are children that are sitting around the fireplace. And then you can also see that on the background, there are also some elders who are sitting underneath the shadow of the heart. And also you can see that within this picture, it's darker, symbolizing that the storytellings and the family gatherings normally happens in the evening. And a fellow keynote speaker talked about the circle. And we also have that circle here. And the circle means completeness. Now, when people are sitting in a cycle, it means they are complete. Because when one is sitting on the other side, the other one is sitting on the other side. So we are all able to see what is going on around us and also behind us. Now, in this same picture, you can see that technology is brought into the picture. And that goes on to explain to us that if in today's world we want to domesticate learning, we cannot do that completely ignoring the technologies that are out there. Now, companies all over the world are making sure that almost every individual has got a mobile gadget. And I'm tempted to believe that everyone that is in this workshop has some form of a gadget that they've used in order to enter into this session. Now, if we want to domesticate learning and make sure that we elevate learning to the highest level, we need to have technology amongst the instruments of learning. Now, what are we going to get in these instruments of learning? We are going to have some applications within these gadgets that will enable us to learn. For example, you would have ebooks within some of these gadgets. Again, you can have such things as ChatGPT amongst these gadgets. And you can have so many other learning platforms, such as Moodle, such as the whiteboard, and many other platforms that we can utilize for the learning process. Now, in a home setup, the parents are usually regarded as the teachers of the younger ones, and they are expected then to facilitate the learning. Now, home has always been part and parcel of the learning process, because I give you an example. Every time when kids are given from school a homework, their parents are supposed to be playing a part in assisting the children to complete their homeworks. So domesticating learning, I think, is the best concept that we need to pursue if we need to help Africa to be amongst the best continents in the world. Let me pass this particular slide, and I want to talk about learning that is relevant and responsive. And I brought in a quotation from one of the former president of South Africa, Mr. Jacob Zuma. He said, African problems should have African solutions. In other words, in the domesticated learning, we need to be identifying African problems and come up with solutions that are relevant and African. And in our storytellings, that is where our problems and our histories can come into context. And when we teach our children about our history, our challenges, we will then be putting an input into their brains to say that these are the problems. Whenever you get a chance, come up with a solution towards these problems. Now, what are some of the major problems that we are experiencing as a continent in Africa? Obviously, extreme poverty, child slave trade, children as soldiers, health issues, environmental issues, hunger or starvation, air or water pollution, ethnic or civil wars, refugee camps, education or the literacy rate. And I'm glad that we are in this workshop and we are busy talking about education. And I had my sister talking about education as a weapon that we can use to change the world. And if we need to solve our problems in Africa, we need to make sure that whenever we are given a chance to learn about the problems that we are experiencing, let us constantly be learning in our homes. And in our homes, we spend majority of our times at home. And if we can learn in that space, we will be able to solve the problems that we have as a continent. Now, what are some of the things that we can include in our home learning? In our home learning, we need to talk about African ethics, and we need to talk about Ubuntu, that a person is a person because of another person. And in that context of Ubuntu, we need to learn about compassion, we need to learn about forgiveness, we need to learn about responsibility, we need to learn about honesty, we need to learn about self-control, we need to learn about caring, love, and perseverance. Particularly in our continent, Africa, forgiveness is one thing that we can utilize to make sure that we move the continent forward. So many things have happened amongst the countries. And if there is no forgiveness, we cannot be able to work together in unison in order to take Africa forward. Now, learning is still very much located in our home, as I said in my previous slides. And COVID-19 reminded us of the domesticated learning, because when we were locked down, we had no choice but to talk to one another. And in the process of talking to one another, we were learning, we were engaging, we were brainstorming and teasing our thoughts and engaging and coming up with solutions on how we could survive during the COVID-19 pandemic. Let us domesticate the learning. And we should not shy away from making sure that within our homes, we are learning. And in a nutshell, that is what I wanted to narrate, to say, learning takes place even in our home. And if we want the best learning experiences in our home, we must modernize it. And by modernizing it, it means we must have the technology that enables the learning in our home. We need digital transformation. We need digital solutions to our learnings. And the kids and the parents need to be familiar with the technologies that are available for us to facilitate learning within our homes. And that is the end of my talk. I thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Prof, for that wonderful presentation. I'll be standing in for Tosin. I sincerely want to appreciate everyone for still staying on this call. My name is Ahmed. I'll be taking over from Tosin. And of course, kudos to Prof for the wonderful and insightful presentation. I've quite jotted some things. You actually mentioned about domesticating learning, especially focusing on Africa. And one thing you mentioned that part of my takeaway is that digital transformation is quite important if truly we want to domesticate learning. Thank you so much for that presentation. Because of our time, every one of us, you can also share your key takeaways from the session with us via the chat box, while we also continue the next, which is the panel session. And of course, thank you so much for the technical part. Okay, I'm seeing that already. All right, so let's move on to what we have next. We'll be having the next presentation, and I'll be inviting the fourth panel session panelists. We have Rania Lampu. I don't know if he's here with us. Apologies for that. Thank you so much. Prof, they are extending their regards to you. Thank you, everyone. I don't know if he's here. Okay, okay, let me make you co-host. And next, on the panel session, we have Senior Professor Charles Ebiora. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. Apologies for that. Yes, Rena Lampu, you can come off mute now. I've made you the co-host. Senior Professor Charles Ebiora, I don't know if he's here with us. Please allow me to make him the co-host. I doubt if he's on the call. Also, I'll be inviting Prof. Luis Cardoso. He's also one of our panelists for this second panel session. All right, he's from Portugal. Prof, I think I can see him. All right, so I've made you the co-host now. Professor Luis Cardoso, can you just say hi?
Yes, hello, greetings.
All right, all right. It's a pleasure having you around this evening from Nigeria. And yes, we'll have Dr. D. Chandari. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing it as it should. I don't know if he's also here with us. I'm trying to make him the co-host. Dr. Chandang, I don't know if you can hear me. You can just come off mute. Okay, let's proceed. Let's proceed. And so I'll be starting with Rena Lampu. Please, can you say hi if you can hear me?
Yes, yes. Warm greetings from Grace to everyone. I'm here.
All right, all right, all right. That's so. I have a question for you. We have been discussing on education for peace and sustainable development, and this time around, I want to focus mainly on educators as well as students. And so, my first question goes thus: how can education empower students to become active contributors to peace building efforts in their communities?
First, I would like to congratulate all organizers for this very enriching event and conference. And thank you so much for the kind invitation. Yes, so today we talk about the global peace and education. And I want to start by saying that the Global Peace Index, which is the world's leading measure of global peacefulness, and this one has also developed the Positive Peace Index, which measures the attitudes, institutions, and structures that create and sustain peaceful societies, are likely to be negatively impacted by the COVID pandemic, but also by the war context situations nowadays. Given all these widespread effects of conflict-related trauma, I think that it's critical to invest in psychological first aid training now for teaching school and school counselors so that they can be able to support students affected directly and indirectly by the conflicts to cope. And long term, as the previous speaker said, it's important to invest in peace-building curricula in schools so that we can encourage no-violent approaches in order to conflict resolution and to work towards restoring peace and social cohesion among communities. I think that the role of education is very important, but it's mixed. Education can have a positive effect in order to prevent or help stop a conflict, in order to help young people develop global citizenship, as we say. So skills which have to do with communication, with collaboration, with humanistic values, compassion, altruism. And this has to do with equality, democracy, and human rights also, because peace, it's not only the absence of violence. Peace has to do, first of all, with respect of tolerance and fundamental human rights. But at the same time, you know, education, on the other hand, can contribute to the promotion of violence by emphasizing cultural, religious, or ethnic differences. So it's up to us. It's very important that educators need to be cautious when we promote what we call education for peace, in order to avoid this kind of conflict. So I want to say that young people nowadays have a lot of opportunities to be engaged in the communities. Is what we call now, it's a nutrient in education, is community-based learning. We have seen that nowadays the landscape as is being shaped is not limited in the traditional classroom. It's going beyond traditional classroom. It embraces mayors, it embraces parents, it embraces communities, private sector, industries, and governments, of course. So educators need to involve students already at an early age, first of all in international projects, could be international collaborative projects, such as in Europe. In Europe, we have Erasmus project or e-twinning programs. And organize intercultural activities, because in this way, we learn to understand the traditions, the cultures of other countries or in other cities or in other villages. We learn to be more open, more tolerant, and less aggressive. You know that I have spent personally a great part of my life on humanitarian services. So I can speak on this question for first hand because I'm a volunteer. Actually, I was appointed here in Greece as the national ambassador of volunteerism of education in the Greek Academy of Volunteerism Hellas governmental program. And what we're trying to do is to promote service learning and volunteerism around the world. How? We're trying to create a network, global network of volunteers who collaborate each other. For instance, we have Greek people who are living in Australia, want to help each other. We're trying to help integrate volunteerism in the curriculum. It's something that we have achieved. I want to say that the Greek Ministry of Education recently has introduced a new subject, which has new modern thematic sessions. Among them is volunteerism, environmental awareness, entrepreneurship. So it's a great reform for my country, Greece. And during this subject, teachers have the opportunity to implement amazing projects, preparing students for the future. What is the future? The future is, of course, the wider community. It's a global community. Since after COVID pandemic, we can leverage a lot of collaborative platforms. And the number one is learn how to be volunteers. Unfortunately, this culture is not very well developed, at least here in Greece. I'm teaching STEM as a volunteer to refugees. I want to say we're talking about Peace Day, but I want to highlight that here in Greece we have a great number of refugees who are suffering, and the educational system are not very well structured to accommodate them and host them. So peace education has to do with this, has to do with how also the local community can embrace these minorities, because there's still a lot of racism, of xenophobia, of misperceptions. And we need to prepare the local community in order to integrate also these kind of minorities. So I think that by implementing curricula like the Greek curriculum I mentioned before, which embrace a holistic approach. Holistic approach means that we don't teach only mathematics or physics or chemistry, but at the same time we try to involve domains that have to do with the future, and also the humanistic approach. Because this local community that you asked me has to do with the human dimension. I participate in many conferences where everyone talks about artificial intelligence and digital skills. I think that in the future, it will be very rare to find human beings. So what we need is to promote humanistic values alongside technical and digital skills. This is rare to find.
All right.
Altruism,
All right.
compassion.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. We'll have loved to also listen further due to time constraint. So moving to Prof. Luis Cardoso, the question goes to you. So in what ways can schools collaborate with local organizations to address sustainability challenges in their immediate environment?
Well, hello again and greetings from Portugal. It's indeed a great pleasure and a great honor to be here with you today. And would like to say hello to all the speakers and to all the participants in this World Forum. This is a very complex question, sir. Allow me to share some layers regarding this answer. So first of all, a school, of course, is not isolated from the community. It's not isolated from national educational policies. It's not isolated from an educational system, and it's not isolated regarding international guidelines and frameworks. So everything is connected. So when we are addressing issues like education and peace, we have to understand that we have common guidelines that fortunately guide our lives and guide our efforts regarding education. This is why we have the UN, this is why we have UNESCO, this is why we have the OECD, for example. On the other hand, each country has the ability to understand how these global frameworks can be incorporated in their educational systems. And according to national policies, they can be later turned out into more direct policies regarding, for example, secondary schools or higher education. And the third level that we have to approach is curriculum, of course. Nowadays, we have a new type of curriculum. This is an innovative approach regarding this 21st century. Nowadays, curriculum is something that is flexible, that is dynamic, that has to incorporate not just knowledge, but also literacy, skills, values, and principles. This is the key difference from the paradigm that we had in the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. And during the last decade, we understood the need to overcome the barriers of time and space, and that's where we changed from in-person classes for online classes and hybrid models. So these changes also brought us new perceptions about how we can be connected in this world. And by being able to incorporate, for example, new technologies in our daily lives, it also enhances our possibilities to exchange points of view regarding what is education, what do we want from education, and what can education bring to our future and to the next generation. So the answer is, of course, we have to understand this is a common effort. And this common effort, of course, leads us to the so-called Horizon 2030. So if we truly want education for all, if we truly want quality education, then we have to realize this is an effort that is not just about the school, it's not just about the university, not about the country, not about the continent. This is a world effort. This is why we have to be connected. This is why we have to be engaged. And this is why events like this one are so important. So the answer is, my friend, that by sharing these insights regarding what connects us with the priorities of this 21st century, by connecting the major role of schools in the bonds they are valuable regarding the community, regarding cultural, language, history. This creates a new type of atmosphere to enhance our capabilities and to go ahead with a new approach regarding this curriculum. So from the curriculum to the practices inside the classroom and the practices outside the classroom, because nowadays our students learn inside and outside the classroom. When we connect all this, then we come across this new paradigm of education. So to go ahead with this new type of approach regarding peace and education, we must understand that values have to be connected with knowledge. So it's not just about degrees, it's just not about university, teaching and learning opportunities. It's not just about educational systems. We are dealing with a major need to understand that education is the basis for our society. So peace and education are truly connected. We cannot live without peace, we cannot live without education. When you connect both, then we have the basis to go ahead and make the changes we want for our common future. And this is, of course, absolutely vital, namely in these days when we have two major conflicts that are affecting our lives. So thanks again for the kind invitation. I hope we can meet soon.
All right, thank you so much, Luis Cardoso. We sincerely appreciate you for that short but enjoyable presentation. Thank you so much. We would have loved this session to also continue, but due to time constraints, we may have to just cut it here. Thank you so much, Rena Lampu, as well as Prof. Luis Cardoso. We sincerely appreciate you. And I've jotted some things down when you're actually talking, but permit me, I will not be able to share. But of course, we are going to share some of these quotes across our platforms, Facebook, Twitter, as well as other platforms. And so the conversation continues after now. Thank you so much. We sincerely appreciate you for your time. We do not take it for granted. And lastly, before we call it a day or a night from here, I'll be inviting Mr. Adedeji Lateef, who will be giving us the closing remarks. Mr. Adedeji, if you are here, you can come off mute and speak. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, or good morning, depending on where you are. Join this film. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Alif, for following up for this, and thank you so much, Mr. Emirate, for this good opportunity. To all our speakers, you have all amazing work. It has really been educating, enlightening, fusing up education and peace together, seeing how education can contribute to peace, positive development. And I really want to appreciate all our speakers who join us from different corners of the world, from India, from Indonesia, from Portugal, from Greece, from Mexico. Thank you so much for taking time to be part of this amazing summit. And as Mr. Emirate has said, this is just a beginning of a big, greater thing. We're going to love to have more speakers and even more speakers across the world to come to the Global Education Webinar to also share with educators on things that we can work on to actually move education forward globally and Africa in particular. And all our participants, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being part of this edition of the Global Education Summit. And I can assure you that the next edition is going to be way bigger than this. I can assure you of that. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you so much, Mr. Emirate. Thank you so much to everyone that's part of this summit. Thank you so much. We don't take it for granted. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Lateef Adedeji. I didn't mention earlier, he is the Director of Learnings at Emirate Educoncept and Services. And so we sincerely want to appreciate you for that. Everyone, we appreciate you for staying up to this very moment. We appreciate our lecturers, our speakers, our panelists. We appreciate all our participants. We do not take your time for granted. And so don't forget, you can follow Emirate Educoncept and Services on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and let the conversation continues. And do ensure you reach out to us. We are always on our social media. And one of those things that we mentioned is to leverage on technology. And so we leverage on that as educators. I will continue this conversation from there. Once again, thank you, everyone. We sincerely appreciate your time. God bless you all. So we're drawing the curtain from here. Don't forget to join us across our social media platforms. We sincerely appreciate you if you can join us. Thank you and bye.